Welcome to Uniworld's event, where we're going to explore the incredible destination of India. During this event, we have two of our dedicated strategic account managers, Nicole and Walter, who will be standing by to answer your questions. Now, both of them know a lot about Uniworld, but they have also been on this incredible India experience. So on the right-hand side of your computer, you'll find an area where you can enter your questions. On the Ganges River, we offer something that is so incredibly special. Your cruise and tour includes a 12-night journey from New Delhi to Kolkata, visiting several UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including New Delhi, the Pink City of Jaipur, and of course, the incredible Taj Mahal in Agra. Your journey is going to start with 5 luxurious nights at 3 incredible Oberoi hotels. On board our elegant Ganges Voyager 2, you'll explore small villages, often untouched by tourism. All rooms on this ship are suites that include French balcony, a rain shower, and many other high-end amenities. Our sailing includes a resident certified yogi on board who will lead daily yoga. This is a trip that should be on everyone's bucket list, and we look forward to sharing more with you. And it's now my pleasure to introduce our partner in India, Arjun. Arjun, so nice to see you. Our two companies have been partners now since 2016, and you and your father, Raj, have created some incredible experiences for our Uniworld guests. And not just on board the beautiful Ganges Voyager 2, but also on land. Can you explain to our viewers why India should be at the top of their list?
Thank you so much, Ellen. It's really wonderful to be with you here today and to talk about why India is the ultimate river cruise destination. India is one of the oldest living civilizations, and there's never been a better time than now to immerse in the riches and heritage of the culture and nature which are there. India has a vast and rich heritage as a centre of global innovation across many different fields, from science and technology, ink to rulers, muslin to microwave communications, for Ayurveda and the science of healing and wellness. Games like Ludo, chess, snakes and ladders, incredible architecture and poetry that inspired freedom fighters across the world. And so for centuries, people have come to India, they've journeyed along their riverbanks, and they talk about the vast riches they found there, but also the challenges of great distances, access to culture, and places to stay. And so we have curated together this ultimate Indian experience, where you can immerse in the wonderful heritage of the famed Golden Triangle. We're staying in the best hotels in the world, combined with an immersive 7 nights river cruise along the sacred Ganges. The juxtaposition of this journey makes a transformative experience of mind, body and soul, as you traverse these untouched landscapes with unmatched hospitality and make wonderful, unforgettable memories of a lifetime.
Arjun, that sounds amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more, though, about what the onboard experience is like? So for these 12 days that they're traveling in India, but then they're on board the ship for the 7 nights. Talk to me a little bit about that onboard experience.
So in this 2 weeks program, we're experiencing 5 nights land in the Oberoi hotels, an Indian mark amongst the best in the world. And we combine it with the Ganges Voyager 2, the all-suite ship sailing on the river. On the land program, every day we're exploring incredible monuments, palaces, museums, local markets of Delhi, which was the Mughal capital. We visit Agra for the Taj Mahal, the incredible monument to love, as well as Jaipur, the World Heritage Pink City. So having seen these wonderful places on land, now we visit the sacred Ganges. And here, every day on the cruise, we're exploring these hidden landscapes and peoples inaccessible by land, where we just use local transport to reveal the mythologies, the artisans, and the wonderful temples of these places, of these remote villages along the Ganges. On board the ship, every day as we're sailing, there's an incredible amount of activities on board. From sunrise yoga with a yoga guru in the morning, with the wonderful sunrise as you're floating along this sacred river, to the incredible port talks, lectures and discussions on the history of the region. This area having been a centre of global textiles and artisans for thousands of years, so rich that it bankrupted empires in balance of trade. The incredible gourmet gastronomy we serve on board the ship. all the food is prepared fresh on board every day, from the pastries and biscuits in the morning to the giant naan breads and tiger prawns in the evening, as you're tasting the history and geography through the taste buds. There are wonderful cultural performances by students trying to maintain and develop the traditional arts, as well as wonderful special secret experiences which you only experience once you come on board. But all these come together to make your cruise truly a memorable cruise of a lifetime.
Well, the secret experiences certainly sound intriguing. I will tell you, our guests come back and they are just raving about their experience. And they do say it is life-changing and it is absolutely spiritual and beautiful. So you've described it perfectly. Now, they are also staying at the incredible Oberoi hotels along the way. And there's 3 different Oberoi hotels. Can you talk to me about a little bit about those properties and where they're located?
That's right, Ellen. So on the land, for our 5 nights Golden Triangle immersion, we stay in the Oberoi in Delhi, which is a famous hotel which for decades has been a centre of families for afternoon tea in Delhi. And it's perfectly located to explore the wonderful heritage of old and new Delhi. It's a wonderful hotel that's been refurbished recently. They say that every room is like a Rolls Royce and the air inside is cleaner than Switzerland. So from Delhi we go to Agra, the Amer Villas, an incredible property where every view looks out on the Taj Mahal. So you eat Taj Mahal for breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as we have a wonderful sunrise and a sunset visit to the Taj Mahal to see it in different lights. And so from Agra we go to Jaipur. We stay in the Raj Villas, a wonderful, beautiful garden property with peacocks and a beautiful temple in the centre of the complex where all the rooms are spread throughout different villas of the gardens. And seeing these wonderful Oberoi places, when you come to the cruise, the Ganges Voyager 2, it's an all-suite ship with large suites from 24 to 40 square metres, all with French balconies that look over the river. And on board the ship and the land, these are wonderful accommodations that change perspectives of the places we're going through. They reflect locality, the artisans, and the experiences you visit every day in excursions.
Wow. It sounds as though you really do bring in the very best of India across this experience, which is exactly what our guests are looking for, is the very best. So Arjun, that sounds amazing. So what is the best time to go to India?
Well, Ellen, the beauty of this itinerary, this incredible ultimate Indian experience, is that we only operate it in the best time. The weather is beautiful, the places are iconic, and it's just the best time to visit this part of the world.
So it can be very hot there then?
In the daytime, it can be sunny and warm, but we're not talking hot like the summer months.
Good, great. So it's certainly enjoyable. And from the imagery I've seen and from the comments from our guests, it sounds amazing. So what else have we missed? There's got to be more that we've missed here.
Well, Ellen, one of the key things about how our passion is manifested in this incredible journey is the way we are trying to regenerate these forgotten riparian landscapes and peoples. We have 3 certified Make Travel Matter experiences during the cruise. The first is an incredible experience of Kalna, the wonderful temple village, these incredible terracotta temples, where we go by cycle rickshaw to immerse in the local markets and the local places which are there. This gives local rickshaw pullers economic development and sustains their traditional way of life. And this is very much part of the Make Travel Matter experience in Kalna. In Matiari is an artisan's village, and they take scrap metal from all over the region and they melt down the scrap into these brass ingots, and every family has a different style and a tradition and stories they tell of the brass making and the plates which they hammer out by hand. Wow. So we go early in the morning, perhaps it's a little bit foggy and misty, and you hear hundreds of hammers tonguing away through the mist. And we walk through this local village and we see who's awake, who's working, who would like to share their métier with us. And we have this wonderful privileged experience of supporting these cooperatives in their work to continue their traditions. And that's a wonderful village visit on the cruise there. The last Make Travel Matter experience we have is in Kolkata. This was the British imperial capital. It has incredible monuments and churches, and of course the Victoria Memorial, which is this incredible monument to the Empress Victoria, built from the same marble as the Taj Mahal. So this city also has certain challenges, and so we do collaborate and support NGOs who help children from disadvantaged backgrounds to get a better education, to stay in their education and complete it, and have better life outcomes in the end. As well as there's an optional visit for Mother Teresa's ashram, who was also based in Kolkata there. So there's an incredible enrichment of this regenerative activities. And not only that, Ellen, the ship itself is designed to keep in mind being responsible for the environment that we sail along, with pollution prevention technologies, so no pollution goes into the river, as well as having all local crew on board, local gastronomy being designed and built locally, but with all the international standard pollution prevention technologies, navigation systems, and health and safety assurances. So this is really one of the key aspects to the wonderful Land and Cruise program, that we are able to contribute to this sustainable development goals in a specific measurable way.
Arjun, thank you so much. First of all, you brought to life some of these Make Travel Matter experiences, so our guests have an idea of what it's going to feel like and be like on these experiences. But also thank you for being our partner, because you do know how to make travel matter. And as we continue on our journey to do the best, we really appreciate that partnership.
Well, thank you so much, Ellen. And of course, it's not just the 2 weeks core program. We have wonderful extension options which can be paired with this experience to truly make it unforgettable and beyond imagination. And these are options to visit places like Udaipur in Rajasthan, the Venice of the East, an incredible place where there's wonderful lake palace and wonderful princely state culture and palaces. There's wonderful Varanasi, said to be the oldest living city in the world, to spend 2 to 3 nights in this wonderful city and immerse in the center of Hinduism and this pilgrimage center. And of course, we've just introduced, and we're very excited about this, the sail and rail option, combining the sacred Ganges cruise with one of the most luxurious train journeys in the world, to travel from coast to coast, east coast of India to west coast, by river cruise and by luxury rail. And so these are the phenomenal new innovations, how we are redefining India as an incredible river cruise destination.
Yes. Now, the Maharaj Express combined with Ganges Voyager 2, Oberoi hotels, it sounds spectacular. I will tell you, it is on the top of my list, and I hope to get there very soon and to see you on board.
Well, thank you so much, Ellen. It's been wonderful to talk with you today, and we look forward to working together more in the future.
What an incredible experience it was to speak with Arjun and to get his firsthand knowledge of the destination. He is so passionate about India and absolutely brings it to life. I also had the opportunity to sit down with one of our past guests, Anne. Now, Anne has been on Uniworld several times, and she had a life-changing, incredible experience in India. So we're going to take a moment and look at some of her pictures and hear from Anne. Hi, Anne. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today to talk with us about your incredible experience of traveling to India on Uniworld. I am so anxious to hear about it because it's one of the destinations I have not had a chance to go to and cannot wait to experience.
Thanks, Ellen. It's really a pleasure to be here and share this with you, because I've done several trips on Uniworld, and this was by far one of the most interesting, exotic, and beautiful trips that I will remember until I'm 95 years old.
Yeah, and that's what travel does, right? It just it gets in your heart.
For sure. Yeah, it was really special. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so for India though, so you have traveled so much, you've been all over the world. So what makes India so special?
Oh, Ellen, there is no place like it. And I have traveled extensively throughout the world. And I think there are so very few places left that really feel like a medieval world in the 21st century. And I think that is so special. And India is so culturally diverse and fascinating. The people, the colors, the sights, the smells, the villages, the towns, it's quite special. And in many parts, particularly what I experienced with Uniworld, are so untouched. And I think it's so difficult to find that in the world today.
Yeah. So you were truly immersed in this destination. And I would love to hear some of what are your most memorable moments of being there and experiencing it.
There are many, and as you know, you see what they call the Golden Triangle. So you go to three larger cities, but really, I'd like to jump in and get on the Ganges and tell you about my favorite day on the Ganges. And actually, what's really interesting is that I didn't realize, but Uniworld travels in sort of a tributary of the Ganges, which is really special because so many of these towns and villages that we went to are genuinely, I really believe some of them have never seen white people and or tourists. And one day, I'll never forget this. We were approaching Mayanpur, I believe was the name of this village or town, and it's this massive temple, which is the headquarters for the Hare Krishna, which in itself was kind of fascinating to me.
Yeah.
You see this huge contemporary structure, and it's mind-boggling. And yet, when the ship was slowing to come into that town, I was leaning over the other side of the ship, watching a young man from a village that was across the river, and he was slowly getting all of his oxen together. It was a herd, and bringing them into the river, and he was scrubbing them down.
Wow.
And it was fascinating to me to see this situation going on. And I was very intrigued, and I was just leaning over the rail, sort of staring and taking some pictures. It was actually beautiful in its own way. And I noticed everyone was getting off the ship and going to the other side of the river to see this temple. And the captain was standing there, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, I see you're enjoying that." I said, "Oh, this is really interesting." And I said, "But I'd really like to go over there." And I pointed to the other side of the river, which was this village where this young man had come from, only the village was further in. And he said, "Come on, let's go." And the bottom line was he and I got in a dinghy, went to the other side of the river. He had his white uniform on with all of his little epaulets and whatnot. And we walked probably a half a mile into that village, and it was so special. The children, there were young men that just, little boys that followed us everywhere. No one ever begged for a thing. No one wanted, they were just as curious about us as we were about them. And you'd see women sitting in their doorways sewing tapestries and whatnot, and they wanted me to come in for tea, and the captain was translating. It was just beautiful. And that evening I was with a girlfriend of mine who had lost her brother just prior to the cruise, and he'd been sick a while, and he said, "Hey, I want you to go on this cruise no matter what." And he said, "And by the way, if I leave, I want you to take my ashes over to the Ganges." And she and I went to the back of the ship that evening, and the sunsets and the moon rising and the sun rising over the Ganges is so incredibly gorgeous. I've seen a lot of sunsets over water in my cruising days, and this was something very different, very unique and special. And she and I went back to the back of the ship that evening when the sun was setting, and we laid his ashes in the water, and it was really hard for her. And as we turned around, so many of the crew members were standing there, and they didn't know what we were doing, but they realized it, and they were all standing there, and it was beautiful. They were so lovely. So that was a very special day for me. And there were another dozen experiences I could draw upon that were as authentic as that. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, the crew is very special. They're from the region. They think of the ship as their home. Many of them have been with us for years, and we're so incredibly fortunate because they take such good care of our Uniworld guests. One of the things I love also about this experience is that the guests get to stay at the Oberoi hotels, which they're incredibly pampered, incredibly gorgeous hotels. And then, also on this amazing ship. So I'd love to hear about the Oberoi hotels, as well as a little bit more about the actual experience on board the Ganges Voyager 2.
Sure. And I'd love to talk about that because the Oberoi hotels are out of this world.
Yeah.
They're unlike anything I've ever seen or stayed in that they are very Indian. And the first night I got to New Delhi, I looked out of my window of my hotel room, and I felt like I was looking at an elaborate scene. I was looking at the pool for like a Hollywood movie It was magnificent. I've never seen a pool like this in my life. It was gorgeous. Everything about that hotel, the beds, the linens, the service, it's spectacular. And each and every Oberoi that we stayed in was uniquely different one from the other. And as I recall in Jaipur, that was really interesting. You felt almost guilty because you go through a really rough neighborhood and suddenly you go through this gate and you're in something that you feel like you're dropped into nirvana. It's these magnificent gardens and beautiful peacocks running around, and it's so special. And so each and every Oberoi was really spectacular. And I'd love to address the ship because I've been on probably 5 Uniworld cruises. And the thing that I love about Uniworld is that each and every ship is unique and different. And I know that the ships in Europe are all kind of indigenous to the areas that they're in. I've been on your ship, the Joie de Vie in Paris is very different from your ships that are on the Danube or your ship on the Rhine, and each and every one is uniquely different. And this ship is as well. And the thing that I really loved about this ship is that you're in India, and India is different. The ship I see behind you is you're sitting on the deck of the Ganges Voyager, and the entire ship is a very different feel than Uniworld's European ships. And in that, for instance, as an example, the floors are all wood. And that's for a great reason. When you get on the ship, everyone takes their shoes off and they put them in a cubby hole, and they take your shoes and scrub them and put them at your door that evening, so that you're out walking with all the cows and the sacred cows and whatnot, and they want to make sure that everything's clean. So the ship it's not nearly as ornate as the European ships. However, it is absolutely a luxury ship, and the service, the food. I loved the Indian crew, Ellen. I love the fact that they all came from India. They're all from surrounding areas, and it gives you that genuine feel. These people, they give their life. They just want to make you happy, and I love the feel of the real Indian people being with us the whole time. You did have a gentleman from Europe who was the manager of the ship, which was nice because obviously they need to learn things to help incorporate a more Western style of service and whatnot. But it was truly the crew was fantastic, and the ship's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So what were some of the things that you did at nighttime? Did they have entertainment?
I loved the entertainment at night. They brought some dancers on one evening, and I hope that I've given you some pictures. I hope you put one of the pictures on. The entertainment was fabulous, and at the end of it all, everyone was up dancing with the people that performed for us, and it felt like it wasn't just a show. It was also incorporating us. Right. They also had yoga on board, and they had exercise in the morning. And the lady who taught yoga, I am still friends with, Ellen. I still am in touch with her. She lives in New Delhi, and she was fabulous. So the evenings are lovely. People sit outside and have cocktails, and there were several different. They also did henna hand painting and things like that. They brought saris on and put us all in saris and showed us how to tie a sari. So it was great. It was a lot of fun.
So you truly got to immerse yourself in this destination and have a true experience. So what about the food, though? Did you was the food all Indian? Was it Western? Did you enjoy it?
It was a beautiful mix of food. I loved it. If breakfast and lunch were a buffet style, and even at breakfast, for instance, if you wanted 2, eggs over easy with bacon, they would make that happen. So there was Indian food, there was Western food, and the same thing at lunch, and I loved it. And the dinners were served off a menu, and many Indian dishes. And if you didn't want Indian food, there were several selections that were Western as well. And for people that are vegetarian, that's never a problem in India because many of the Hindus are vegetarian. So there's a lot of vegetarian dishes.
Great. So it sounds like they're able to accommodate anyone's dietary needs, which is what we do across all of our Uniworld ships. And so that's fantastic. So if someone said, I'm thinking about going to India, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I would tell them that India can be absolutely very daunting, and I love daunting travel. Many people do not. And I can tell you that any bit of daunting is taken out of that equation because it's amazing how Uniworld takes care of the guest on board. There's one gentleman who stays with us the entire time throughout the trip and covers every need you could possibly want. He also does things like if you're walking down a street and there's a fruit vendor, he'll say, you need to try this fruit. It's really amazing. And I love that. And also on board, there were two women that stayed with us the whole time that did shore excursions. They were from India. So they cover every aspect of what your needs might be. And it's very casual on board. This is not a dressy affair. The weather's often warm. You need to be comfortable. And it's like all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And yet you still have this amazing, exotic, interesting experience where you're immersive is truly the word to use. I didn't feel like a tourist. I felt, like I was truly just in everyday India life, which is what I really relish in a travel experience.
Yeah. No, it sounds incredible. And Anne, thank you so much for
Oh, my
sharing.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your passion and your love for India certainly comes out. And I could see in the way you were speaking to me, just the memories were coming back. And that's what we want from travel, right? We want the memories and we want to remember what we've experienced and to share with our friends. So we look forward to having you very soon on another Uniworld ship. So thank you
Oh,
very much, Anne.
thanks, Ellen. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Hearing from both Arjun and Anne was amazing. They are so passionate about India. It certainly makes me want to go. As if this 12-night experience wasn't enough with Uniworld, you'll have the chance to enhance it even more. Our India cruise and rail itinerary includes 6 nights on board the amazing Maharaj Express, considered by many the most luxurious rail in the world. 2023 departures are booked, but we've added several more for 2024. This 16-day journey will take you to the famed Golden Triangle, give guests a chance to spot a Bengal tiger, and barbecue on the sand dunes. Uniworld has partnered with our sister brand, Adventureworld, to offer customizable extensions. We have 3 extraordinary adventures to offer in conjunction with our India itinerary, in stunning accommodations fully customizable for each traveler. These opportunities include a 5-night journey into central India's national park and tiger reserves, a 5-night taste of southern India's exploring the lagoons of the lush and tranquil region, or a 6-night journey of India's opulent history with Raj palaces and the camps of Rajasthan. We've offered you a glimpse of our incredible India experience, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like to learn more about India or any of our European cruises, please contact your travel advisor or go to uniworld.com.